Hi everyone, my name is Yvonne Johnston. I'm a consciousness coach and a leadership development expert. But this month, we're spring cleaning relationships, looking at them through new lenses, reinventing them, cleaning them out in exactly the same way as you clean out your house in September. What I have found is that the beginning of all disappointment in relationships, whether they're work relationships, whether they're with your kids, your family, your friends, but especially with your primary partner, the disappointment always starts with expectation. And we've talked about this a bit before, but just think back on your life, and any disappointment you've had was because you expected something different. And we're all different. And no matter how long you live with someone, you're still going to be different to that person. You know, I lived with a particularly irritating person at one stage in my life who used to walk around my house singing, "If you don't know me by now." I won't sing because I can't. But that was a statement loaded with expectation. And that's what happens when we live together. We expect the other person to know what we want, but they're different. And I'm going to talk today about the gift of sharing what's in your mind, the gift of sharing your stuff. Because what happens is your partner often has absolutely no idea what's going on in your head. And you know, I've got two stories to tell. One had a happy ending and one had a not such a happy ending, but great learning. And the first one was that I had a client who was getting increasingly resentful that there seemed to be an expectation that she was expected to cook the dinner every night. And eventually the dam wall burst and she sat down and she said, "I really don't want to have to do this every week. Can I just have 2 days off a week where I don't cook?" And immediately her partner said, of course you can do that. And so they started getting takeouts one night and going out on the other. And it was only because she had the courage to confront what she really wanted to say. And afterwards she said to me, "I wonder why I didn't say that before." And so that's the question I'm going to pose to you today. Is there stuff that you could share that could actually just clear the air and get rid of all of that resentment? The second story was about a woman who felt that her partner needed to give her undivided attention every time she spoke. So she works less than him and he would come home from work and he would still be on his phone doing email as people do. And what she wanted was every single time she spoke for him to put down the phone and give her undivided attention. And when they started to speak this out, he began to explain that he can't. Every time she opens her mouth, give her undivided attention. So what they co-created was a space and a time where he would give her undivided attention, where work would absolutely be put down, and he would look into her eyes and they could communicate and create connection. So this really is about the gift of communication, the gift of sharing, the gift of asking for what you want, the gift of getting out of expectation. And that's really how you do it. Start to ask for what you want, what's going to make you happy. Otherwise, in a way, you're giving your power away by expecting the other person to guess what's going to make you happy. So your challenge for this week is to think about what you're expecting and actually ask your partner for it. Ask your work colleague for it. Ask your kids for it. Ask your friends for it. And see what happens. See what happens with you. How powerful do you feel? And ultimately, that's where we want to get in relationships, where there are two powerful people, both asking for what they want with a common goal. What is unhealthy in a relationship is where people kind of want to merge everything, become one. That's not realistic. So create realistic expectations that you can actually deliver to each other and create peace and harmony and happiness. And if you want to know more about this, we've got a really beautiful course called Clear and Connected Relationships. If you want the details of it, have a look on the Firepower Group website. Have a beautiful, happy, spring-cleaned week.